Hiya, you alright?
Fine, thanks.
Alright, so I'm out filming with Tim again. We've got the R9T, but we're also riding the Africa Twin Adventure Sport DCT today. Eagle-eyed MOTOBOB viewers will remember that I had the Africa Twin, the base model, the more off-road focused one with a manual gearbox a few months ago, and I really like that bike, but I wanted to get one with DCT just to figure out whether that semi-automatic style gearbox really makes sense on an adventure bike. I had the Goldwing. Obviously DCT is great on a big tourer where you want that relaxed riding style. I've had the XADV, it's got a bit of a scooter vibe to it, so again that twist and go throttle makes sense. But does it make sense on a big adventure bike like this where you might want to do a bit of off-roading? Now the Adventure Sport is now the touring focus model, but they've still fitted it with some semi-knobblies. It's still got a big front wheel, spoked wheels, it's still got a decent amount of travel in the suspension. So what's it like off-road? We'll find out in a minute. Then we'll do a bit of road riding, and then me and Tim will tell you what we think. When I last came down here and rode on the other Africa Twin, the base model, all of these big dips were full of water. I got an absolute soaking, but thankfully it's a little drier today. Now this being the Adventure Sport and geared a little bit more towards the road, the risers aren't as tall on this, so standing you do have to reach down a bit further, and also it has a much larger fuel tank. I think it's a good 5 litres more, so if you're fully fueled up you might feel that extra weight, but of course otherwise they're largely similar, and the biggest difference off-road is this DCT gearbox. Look, you can tell how easy this is because there's a guy on a Harley, I think it's a Sportster or something. Hi mate. Yeah, so DCT, it has a drive mode and it has a sport mode. So drive, it really does keep the revs low. If you're on the road, it'll keep it to 2,000 revs or so. Sport mode is much better on the road, especially for the more spirited riding, of course. But I've left it in drive just to give me that more gentle power delivery. Oh, the joys of green laning in the south of England. Fly tipping everywhere you go. Right, I'll ride back and find Tim. I remember exactly why I liked the base Africa Twin for riding off-road, this little route that I did. You know, it soaks everything up nicely. It is a big bike, but it feels narrow, and the torquey parallel twin is just what you need, but you do feel less connected to it with the DCT. It may seem obvious, but you just remove a bit of connection with it, a bit of nuance. It's good, isn't it? Yeah, easy.
Fun as doing 60 on a road.
Sounds so good, this bike. Same as the base bike, of course. It has the exhaust control valve, the tech that they got from the Fireblade, and it just sounds brilliant. We did a bit of motorway riding to get out here. It's about half an hour. Obviously DCT makes total sense when you just cruise in a straight line. I've got it in the drive mode that I was talking about now, and you can see the rev counter here goes from 0, of course, up to red line is at 8,000 RPM. Now look at it shifting. I don't know if you can see, but that little blue bar is just hovering around the 2,000 revs mark, which is of course totally fine if you're on the motorway trying to save a bit of fuel, or if you're just pottering around town like this. But let's say, you know, you want to pick the pace up, like when the speed limit lifts here, and you give it a load of revs. It does know to hold on to that gear when the throttle's wide open, but in the corners like this, it just feels too bogged down. That, you know, that feeling where the engine starts to labor and you feel like you need to shift down. You encounter that a lot more often. So if you hit this button, DS, into sports mode, even at quarter throttle, that it's keeping hold of the gears a lot more, up to 5,000 revs there. It just feels alive when you've got it in sport mode. I must say, although I do miss a little bit of the engagement that a clutch and manual gearbox give you, it is still fun just pinning the throttle The other option you've got, of course, is to put it into manual. That's another button on this side, and then you've got a thumb button and a trigger on the back on the left switch gear to switch between the gears. You know, that's a nice halfway house. It gives you some of that engagement, but obviously it's doing the gear shifts, the clutch, and the rev matching for you. That is fun, hearing it blip the throttle when you downshift. Now, the gearbox on the manual Africa Twin is really good anyway. It's precise like most Hondas. I've found that with the CB650R, with the CB1000, they all feel really good. And I haven't tried the Africa Twin with the optional quick shifter, but it was fitted to the press bike that I had for the CB1000R. That was really good. I love that quick shifter. One of the best I've tried. So there's always that configuration, that option if you want it. And I think that would be the configuration I'd go with, although I am starting to enjoy this quite a lot. So Tim's been on the back of the Goldwing when I was I gave you a lift, didn't I, to work? Yep. So you got to sample how smooth DCT is on a big 300 and something kilogram bike with a
sample you riding through London.
Yeah,
nice.
Which was, well,
no, it was really good.
It was smooth.
It's a lovely experience
because of the weight of the bike and the DCT, not because of it was more despite my riding. And then you tried the XADV, which I think, you know, we both got on pretty well with the DCT on that. It makes sense on a scooter style bike, didn't it?
Yeah, it really does make sense on that bike actually. And on the NC750 as well, probably does make some sense if you're going to be using it to commute or town stuff, makes sense.
Yes, there are some differences between the Adventure Sport and the base Africa Twin that I've already tried. So you get a taller adjustable screen, you get adaptive headlights, you get more bodywork, a bigger tank, tubeless tyres, handguards, full handguards, there's a bunch of other stuff. But really the big difference in feel between the two bikes is this one has DCT and the base Africa Twin that I borrowed was manual. Now you can get DCT on both of them, but I thought like that's the more interesting comparison. And I'm just not as sure that it makes sense on an adventure bike as much, but it depends what you're using it for. So we did some gravel riding earlier and we were thinking that maybe the bounciness of like that gravel trail would transfer to the throttle and it'd feel jerky, but actually it was not too bad, was it?
It was okay, yeah, even up to sort of 30 miles an hour or something, doing, you know, decent speed. It was okay. It was easy enough to kind of meter out the vibrations and the bumps through your body to your wrist. It was good enough for a novice like myself to sit on there and kind of feather the throttle, and it didn't feel like it was going to wrong foot itself at all.
You really have to focus on being loose in your upper body so that you're not ever tensing up and grabbing it and then starting to wrench on the throttle. But that's off-road riding best practice anyway, so I suppose it's only reinforcing what you should be doing anyway. You do have to learn to ride DCT, I think. Like, you do have to learn to make very small movements if you're maneuvering at low speed and that sort of thing, because like any bike is snatchy, you know, any fuel injection bike can be a bit snatchy on and off the throttle, but you can feel it even more on the DCT bike. So you can't just jump on and expect it to be like a manual bike but without having to do the gear shifts. There's a way to ride it smoothly, dragging a bit of rear brake, putting it in manual mode sometimes, and then just really being nuanced with your throttle action. But once you start to get it, I think you do start to understand it and become one with it, and it becomes more instinctive and you don't have to concentrate on it. And then it actually is pretty fun to ride. So yeah, I thought the gravel stuff was fine, but it wouldn't be my first choice, like you say. But once you're on the open road, some of those twisty roads, in sport mode, it's fun.
Yeah, and you can play with it a little bit, because you can sort of think maybe it makes you a bit lazy, you'll just sit there and you've just got your right hand doing something where your left hand could be playing Tetris. But while you're going around, you can be more involved in that kind of process, because obviously you've got the little changer with your left hand, so you can go up and down gears if you want to. And I did find that with a lot of this stuff, I was just before setting up for a slower corner, knocking it down a gear myself manually, and then telling the bike that I wanted to kind of accelerate out of it. And that seemed to work quite nicely actually.
Yeah, so I think when I was riding and I was talking to the camera, I was saying that you can sometimes feel, especially in drive mode, like you get in the wrong gear. So you either put it in sport mode or manual. But what I didn't say, which you've rightly pointed out, is that you can use those manual buttons to override, like you say, the DCT and just knock it down a gear. So that's a good call, and I think, as I said, you need to learn to ride it and know which situations. You might just need to knock it down a gear, but then it will go back into automatic once you're out of that corner. This adventure sport is built for touring, and probably where it makes most sense if you're doing those long miles and you're just sitting on the motorway, much like the Goldwing. You know, it's an actual luxury, I think, not to have to think about the gears. If you're on the twisties, it's still quite engaging, and like you say, you can use the manual stuff and it feels a bit more like you're riding a manual bike. If you're off-road, it's fine, but if you do your majority of your riding there, then a manual version, and probably even the base version of the Africa Twin, which is a bit more off-road focused, would be the right choice. So I'd say, really, it's a touring bike, but if you do want to off-road, it's not bad either.
Yeah, it's boundless, isn't it? It's got no sort of limitations to it, but you're right, the dominant part of your riding is going to be on road on that.
I love the sound as well. Doesn't it just sound awesome?
It really does sound good, yeah. Even for a stock exhaust, that's got such a nice raspy note to it.
Anyway, I'd love to hear what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you think you'd get on with DCT on an adventure bike, or are you a manual Gearbox fan through and through? Let me know what you think, and if you're new here and you want to see more videos like this, hit subscribe and I'll catch you next time.